Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that we received, and it reads like this. How are you, Brother Nashi? Please hide my identity. I am writing this story because I want other young women to know, and I do not want to be silent because there might be another girl who is in the process of applying her passport, about to leave the South African borders, going out on a date with a man that she just met online. Stop it, girl. You are going to get yourself in problems. It is far much better that you stay home and you focus on your education. Eventually, life is going to work out here. There are people that think that Dubai, it is nice, but if you go there, know that you can end up in hell, especially if you go there with a blesser, especially if it is a blesser that you would have met online. And there are people that do not even know about the dark side of Dubai. Usually they just see the nice hotels, the good things that they show on media, the content creators, but there is a dark side where many girls end up walking straight into hell, thinking that you are going to get money, and then what you see then, it is going to destroy you totally. I'm a South African woman. This happened, it was in the year 2017. I was a first year student at the University of Johannesburg. I was a child from a family with no money. My mother was working in a small spaza shop that was owned by a Somali guy. And as for my father, he was no longer around. When I was at UJ, I tried, I can say, literally everything so as to fit in, but the problem is that I had no money. Rather than anyone could see that campus life comes with pressure. Other girls, they had nice phones, always had blessers, always had money at all the times. And when you are looking at yourself, you see that you have nothing and you are very poor. You can't even afford basic stuff, not even talking about nice wigs and a soft life. I'm just talking about just having something nice to eat, surviving on noodles. Sometimes I would just sleep hungry in the res, pretending as if I am okay or I'm not hungry at all. One thing that I used to do was that I was heavily addicted to Instagram as well as Facebook. TikTok, not so much, but Instagram, I was always there. That is why I wanted an iPhone with all of my heart, because I wanted a phone that could take nice photos, that when I would post them, those photos, they won't look so blurry. So I was doing Instagram. I would sleep with boys so that I can be able to buy data. And whenever I had the opportunity to be taken out on a date by a guy, maybe we sleep at a hotel, then I take pictures, as many as I can, standing in front of the mirror, even faking buying a cover of an iPhone, yet I was using an Android, so that people and the girls can just think that I got an iPhone. I would post my pictures, and honestly speaking, most of the slay queens, when they post pictures, they are not posting so as to show you their lifestyle. They are looking for a fish to catch. That is what I was hoping for, that one day I would be able to get a real blesser that would help me to escape the suffering and the poverty. That is when a certain guy started to talk to me online. I had spoken with many guys before I had met this guy. His profile showed him to be someone from Dubai. He had nice cars, watches, very addicted to beautiful golden watches, as well as a nice Dubai lifestyle. I thought that he was a scammer, like a Nigerian man just downloading the pictures of an Arab guy pretending to be him. But this man, he was patient, shame. He always spoke with me even when I ignored him. He never insulted me. He always asked me if I was okay, what I was doing, how my day was, sending me nice compliments whenever I posted. Sometimes he would ask me if it was possible for him to send me money in South Africa. So I did not want him to have my details, because I was scared that maybe this guy, he was someone that was a scammer, was going to steal my banking details and to do some fraud online. Then that was when I received, it was an e-wallet, but this e-wallet that I received, it was from a number on WhatsApp, and it was just a screenshot. So I then asked who this person was, and then I saw a ping notification, a message from Instagram. I then opened it up and I saw that it was from my Dubai blesser, who told me that through his connection, he had sent me that e-wallet and it was money for my food. I cried because at that time I was on my period. I did not even have toiletries to use on my period. Eventually, I gave him my numbers, and this man, he then told me that his name was Karim, and he said that I want you to come to Dubai so that we can spend some time together. I had already told him that I wanted an iPhone, and he said to me, an iPhone, it is nothing. I can give you something much better than an iPhone. So this man, he touched my heart, and I was like someone who was struggling, and he manipulated me because of the way that I was really poor. After about 2 months, he was talking about Dubai. I thought that maybe it was just a joke, since he always asked me to send my nude pictures, me covering my face. So I was like, that is what he wants. That is why he is always telling me about Dubai, so that I can have this false sense of hope. One day, he then asked me if he could book a flight for me. I was like, no, wait, I don't even have a passport and I'm scared to come to Dubai alone. And he said, come on, I want you to come for a vacation. And here there are modeling opportunities. Brother Nashi, I ran straight to the Home Affairs, applied for my passport, and waited until the passport was out, and then I sent him the details. By then, I had already started trusting him, and I had never boarded an airplane in my entire life. When I told my friends that I'm going to Dubai, I did not tell them the real truth, who had sponsored this trip for me to go to Dubai. Everyone just thought that it was a breakthrough. I was going to be a model there in Dubai. So this was like my dream of escaping poverty, and Karim had paid for everything: passport, processing, clothes, and the flight. He would literally tell me, when you come here, your life is going to change forever. Brother Nashi, I started dreaming of the soft life, helping my mother, driving nice cars, finishing school without even a single stress. I told my family I was going to Dubai for opportunities. My mother even prayed for me, saying, may the Lord God lead you and open doors for you. Hey, if only she knew. I wish that I had listened to my gut feeling that I started to feel when the days were fast approaching. When I boarded the plane, I started to become nervous. And then when I arrived in Dubai, I was amazed. The place looked like I was inside of a movie. It was nice. Everything was beautiful. At the airport, I was met by two Arabic guys. Karim himself, he was not there. They took my suitcase and then they said, come. I did not think much of it, but the very first thing that gave me fear was when they took my passport. I asked, can I keep it? Ladies, if you are stubborn to go to Dubai, always have a passport with you. Another guy said that they were going to keep all my travel documents safe. They took my phone as well. Brother Nashi, that is when I started to get scared. I said, but I want to call my family. They told me that Karim was a billionaire and he did not trust anyone. You can call later after we have verified you. That later never came. I was taken to this other big house that looked like a hotel. It was beautiful, yes, and there were other girls, mostly Kenyans and Nigerian women, as well as women that came from your places like your Ukraine, as well as other places like Russia and Mexicans. These women, they were so beautiful, and the way that they were being mistreated. I even looked at myself and I said, these women, especially the Russian women, they were so cute and beautiful, yet they were being mistreated, being screamed at by the house lady. There was this other Indian woman who was our house lady. So this Indian woman, the job that she had was to teach us how to behave like we were proper Muslim women, because even though this was like your prostitution, but still the Muslim guys, they want that total domination. They want to dominate you as a woman. So you had to act like a Muslim woman. So we were not allowed to touch certain foods. We're not allowed to do certain things that we were accustomed to in our own cultures. That was when I realized that this was not a vacation. This was just prostitution, no modeling agencies. Instead, there were rules. We were kept. I can say that this big mansion, it was just a brothel, a place of prostitutes where they are forced to sleep with men, and then their handlers, they take the money. And that Indian woman, she was so nasty. She told us that we were there to entertain the guests. When she talked about the guests, I asked what she was talking about, but then the other Kenyan girls touched my hand and told me to keep quiet. Otherwise, I was going to be abused too much, like that other Russian woman who was very aggressive and fighting with the landlady. The first week, I refused to eat, crying, begging to come back to South Africa. But one girl from Kenya kept on telling me that if I did not behave, they were going to kill me and dump me in the desert. She had a friend that used to be like that, and they dumped him into the desert. No one lives here. Quickly, you need to work for the money. Brother Nashi, I started to have panic attacks. Every day I would think about my mother, my school, my friends. I was already locked up in a country where I did not even know anyone. One night I tried to refuse to go to a certain dinner that they had told me to go. One security guy was very big. He was an Arab guy. He lifted me and he was pushing me against the wall, and he said, "Do you know that you owe the boss money?" So apparently the flight, the clothes, accommodation, they write everything down. Even when they send you money in your country, they write each and every single cent, and then they are like, your machoni says, the interest, it does not stop growing. You are working for interest, basically. That is when I realized that I had walked into a trap. From there on, things got worse. They would constantly bring wealthy guys, parties, and humiliation sex, where they make you to do things that you do not even want to do. There are some things that I cannot even talk about without crying, especially the issue of eating poop as well as drinking urine. Your girls do not go there with blessers. But the thing that I want girls to hear is this: not every Dubai invitation is a vacation. You can end up becoming a prisoner there. One night I sat in the bathroom just looking at the mirror, asking, am I ever going to see my mother again? Because by then I had already started losing hope. One Ethiopian girl held my hand. She was new and very beautiful. She had been promised that she was going to be a model, yet she was being sold to other Ethiopian guys that were based in Dubai. So some girls had been there for months and months, no pay, nothing. You are just paying for the interest. The thing that helped me the most was that my mom back home thought that I was enjoying soft life in Dubai, yet I was crying, terrified every single night. Every time the gate opened, I would feel so afraid that I am about to be taken to go to a humiliation party where they are going to humiliate me. By day number 30, I was someone who did not even cry anymore. I did not even care what was happening to me. By the second month, I already became a person that was just a prostitute, and I did not even cry much like I used to. And I would just tell them that I wish to return back to my family. And whenever you called your family, they would even have a gun on your head. Say something, they're going to shoot you. As a person, you end up being tired. You don't care anymore. We would be taken to different parties, and these parties were hosted in villas where there were like prisons, women staying there. They don't get allowed to go outside. There are cameras, security, and girls being beaten to death because they were refusing to eat the poop. One thing that I will never forget is that there was this other certain girl from Uganda who started to crack. She used to be so strong mentally, but all of a sudden she cracked and she started shouting, "I want to go home. I want to go home." They dragged her out and they were kicking and beating her, and then she was just gone. We don't know what happened. They killed her or they fed her maybe to wild animals. There is no one that knows. There was another Moroccan girl who was said to have disappeared. They went with her to the desert because apparently she was HIV positive. Somehow, maybe they did not trace everything properly. I really do not know the story, but she infected another guy with an STI, and that rich guy, he was so mad at her. They took her to the desert. No one knows what they did to him. And eventually, after about 90 days, things changed suddenly. There was a woman who came into my room, handed me my bag. I thought that maybe I was finally going home. I was going to be taken to another house. I was now working as a maid in a foreign country. I actually felt hopeful when they took me to that house, and then they told me to work as a maid. You know, these Arab guys, they stay like in a place, the whole extended family. The place where I was working, there were about 32 people. It is a one family with 32 people, the brothers, the sisters with their husbands, with their kids. And that is another hell. They were using me as a maid, cleaning, cooking, laundry, long hours, no rest. And even them men, they will just come and rape you. Like, it does not mean, it's like their culture is different from our own culture. They do keep slaves, and when they do these things to you, it's like you are a slave. And what I did not know by then was that my money was enough that I had worked for Karim, and now he wanted me to work for my own money to return back home. Yo, there are people that are just cruel. They gave me money and then they booked the flight tickets back to Joburg. They lied to me that I was going to get more money the moment that I land in Joburg. So I was very hopeful when I returned back to Joburg, thinking that I was going to meet a person just like they had promised me, that there will be a person that will be waiting for me with the money. But no such thing ever happened. I landed in South Africa broke with nothing. And then I just went back home. I just lied to my mom that I had bad luck and I had been fired from the agency. And my mom told me that it is okay and she welcomed me back home. So I just want other girls to know that please never be desperate to date online, to go to Dubai with blessers, because you will end up becoming like a slave in Dubai. I'll be following if you post my story. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister. Let us speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed. They do happen in this world. If you have ever experienced such a thing, you can come to my inbox and share with us your own side of the story.